So a common question right now among Bulls fans going into the season is, what is the Bulls starting lineup going to look like? More specifically at power forward and point guard, because I think we all know Zach, DeMar, and Vooch are going to start. But because the Bulls have such a deep backcourt, the bigger question has always been, who is going to start at point for the Bulls? We already know Lonzo is not going to be available this season, if ever again. The Bulls signed Javon Carter to a 3-year deal in free agency. They re-signed both Coby White and Dosunmu, which I didn't think was going to be possible with the limitations on their salary cap space and inching towards that luxury tax line. And of course, they still have Alex Caruso, who is a multi-positional player, played a lot at the 4 last year, but he is listed as a point guard. And I asked you all in a recent community post who you thought should be the Bulls starting point guard, and I'll share the results in this video, and we'll talk more on which players make the most sense to start at point guard, as well as who most likely is going to be getting that spot, because while we may think one way, doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be who Billy Donovan ultimately ends up choosing to take that spot. So what's going on, everyone? You're listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. Real quick, I just want to say Bulls Fest was amazing. It was so great to meet so many people, fans of the channel, just friends that I've been interacting with on Twitter, but I've never met in person. I was able to catch up with Casey Johnson, Sam Smith, Tony Gill, got to meet some of the players like Javon Carter, Torrey Craig, former Bull, and Nate Robinson. Just an incredible event that the Bulls put on, and I was very appreciative to be a part of it. Definitely going to be checking that out next year as well. If you haven't had a chance to attend Bulls Fest, you really should. A great place to meet other Bulls fans with great entertainment. But anyway, enough about that. Let's get back into the video. So I asked you guys who you thought the Bulls should be having their starting point guard for this upcoming season, and with a little over 2,000 votes, the majority felt that Coby White actually should get the starting spot. A little surprising to me. I thought for sure Javon Carter was going to win in this poll, but the results overall were pretty close between Coby and Jevon, with Coby at 46% and Jevon at 34%. Didn't really expect many people to be choosing Io, given they tried that last year and the experiment didn't really go over very well. And then for Caruso, while I do think there is a benefit to having a veteran player like him to start at point guard to provide some perimeter defense, high IQ, and bring the energy up, I think most will agree that Caruso is better suited coming off the bench or potentially starting at power forward, given he's able to guard multiple positions on defense. But Alex Caruso is likely not going to be getting the starting spot. So I guess with that essentially rules out Caruso and Io. Can't see Billy going with Io, as the team really struggled to get off to a good start in games last year, and they were always trying to dig their way out of a deficit. Not saying that's all Io's fault, but you need a leader, a point guard that is going to set the tone and be a floor general, and Io wasn't that guy. And he was never really meant for that role, being thrust into that position as a second-year player. So who's it going to be between Coby White and Javon Carter? On one hand, you have Coby, who's coming off this great season where he showed lots of improvement in multiple areas, from his ball handling, limiting turnovers, his passing got better, his decision-making and shot selection improved, and he actually hustled on defense, which was a pleasant surprise. And the good thing about Coby, he can heat up in a hurry and actually knock down threes at a rapid clip, which the Bulls need. Obviously, the other benefit is Coby has been with this team for a long time, knows the crew well. He's been playing with Zach since he was drafted as a rookie, and based on what we have seen from Coby working out in the offseason, showing off his handles, that jump shot, getting some open runs, and putting on a clinic in some games in those open runs, yeah, there are high hopes from Bulls fans that he's going to have this breakout season. Not even just Bulls fans, you've actually seen it from beat writers talk about it as well, and expecting a monster season from Coby. Then you've got Javon Carter. Newly acquired Bull, played last season for the Milwaukee Bucks, very underrated player for them, has developed a nice three-point shot, hustle defender, he'll attack the perimeter like there's no tomorrow, which I love. I wouldn't say he's necessarily the best playmaker, but it would be interesting to see how his passing evolves playing alongside Zach, DeMar, and Vucevic, who are going to be getting a lot of buckets, whereas before it was Giannis, who likes to have the ball in his hands, and then there was Jrue Holiday, who likes to have the ball in his hands. Carter's role in the Bulls is going to be very different from what he was playing on with the Bucks, because he's going to be relied upon more to control the tempo and flow of the offense. He's going to be relied upon to be a 3-and-D type player. He's going to have the green light to take more threes than he's ever had in his career, because the Bulls desperately need three-point shooting, and he's going to get a lot of open looks because defenses are going to be more focused on DeMar and Zach, as they should be. So hopefully you're going to see a situation where Carter is going to be hanging out along the perimeter when DeMar is getting double teamed, going inside, and a kick out to Carter for an open three. a guy that will actually take them and knock them down, because the Bulls either weren't taking those threes last year or guys couldn't hit those shots. Carter shot 42% from 3 last year and over 4 attempts per game. That's some of the best three-point shooting in the league on that volume. Upping that to 5 or 6 threes per game for Carter could do wonders for this team. So then when you stack Coby and Jevon up together, you weigh the pros and cons. I hate to say it, but to me it's actually very clear, and it's an easy answer both as far as who it should be and who it will be, and that's Javon Carter. I know most of you would like to see Coby in that role, which I'm not saying is a bad option, because there are advantages to having Coby start at point guard to get some added scoring. And hey, maybe Coby blows us all away and dominates this year, but even if that's the case, I still like Coby coming off the bench and Jevon starting, and it's for a number of reasons. First of all, if you start Coby and you have Carter come off the bench, you're going to have such little scoring and overall offense in that second unit. That's going to present a big problem when other bench units eat the Bulls alive and the Bulls can't get much going in terms of their overall scoring. The other reason I like Coby coming off the bench is because he actually played that role well last season. Having Coby play in the second unit, being that scoring spark, also having less pressure on Coby, who's still young and still developing as a player, to help build his confidence in being one of the better players coming off the bench, is good for him and his psyche when he's on the court. But really, the biggest reason why I like Carter in the starting lineup over Coby White is you need his defense. If the Bulls were to start Coby, Zach, DeMar, and whether it's Torrey Craig or Patrick Williams, and then Vucevic, that group is going to be a disaster on defense. They'll be great on offense, but you need a balanced starting lineup. And by inserting a player who can and is great in the point of attack on defense, hustle player on D, he can also spread the floor, knock down threes, but also be a veteran voice, a savvy veteran that the Bulls' big three need. Javon Carter is obviously not on Lonzo Ball's level, but there are similarities in terms of what they bring to the court. They don't need to always have the ball in their hands. They don't need to always score, but they'll give you shooting when you need it, and they'll give you maximum effort on D every game. Yes, Coby White has gotten better. He's improved so many facets of his game, and he's gotten to be smarter as a player, but he's not on the same level in terms of his overall IQ as someone like Javon Carter. And not only that, but Carter is a more reliable and consistent shooter than Coby White. That's the biggest drawback to Coby, still for him anyway, is that he remains a fairly inconsistent player when it comes to knocking down shots. He can go 8 for 10 one night, sinking 6 threes, to then following that up going 1 for 10. He's 23, so that consistency will hopefully come with time, but he's not quite there yet. And for the Bulls, they need a reliable, smart, savvy point guard that can shoot and play strong defense, like Lonzo did when the Bulls were one of the best teams in the East before he got injured. And I think we all know Billy Donovan is probably going to start Javon Carter because he loves his veterans and, again, needs that balance between defense and offense. But either way, you guys let me know if you agree or disagree with this assessment and who you prefer to see starting in that role. Let me know in the comments. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.